The next champion in the CLC champions kind of stream, the created champions. So first we did Kai, the master of Chi. Now we are doing Dr. Zin, the scientist of the dead, or something like that. Anyways, Dr. Zin's passive is Soul Seeker. Soul Seeker is not like what you would think you search for souls or anything. It's actually what is called of his axe. It's more used as a healing kind of. He's not like holding it in the sky. He's kind of walking with it like this, but it's a double-sided blade. It's more used for its magical properties rather than striking opponents and dealing damage. But so, after 3 basic attacks, Dr. Zin gains Soul Seeker from the void or from basically the ground. He just pulls it up, boom, he has it. 3 basic attacks. It's not on the same champion. I mean, because his Soul Seeker is using his Q and his ultimate, and your Q is one of your most used abilities. Anyways, so after 3 basic attacks, Dr. Zin gains Soul Seeker, a physical attack weapon that is used in his Q/R. He needs it. Yeah. Also, once Soul Seeker is achieved, Dr. Zin gains 6 to 10% damage, and that bonus goes away once it is lost or used. Okay, so basically, yeah, he does gain damage, but he also loses range. Does that make sense? So before that, he's kind of just a weak mage with just a pretty basic physical attack that is ranged. But then once he gains Soul Seeker after 3 basic attacks, it becomes a melee, more of attack, or as long as he can reach it. And he also carries around like a satchel. You'll see why for his E. Q is Death Seeker. Kind of plays with Soul Seeker. Anyways, he throws Soul Seeker in a certain direction, and then he can repress Q to activate its explosive power, unleashing basically an explosion of death. Anyways, yeah. As it travels, it damages enemies in the way. So it's kind of like a Nivea or a Aurelian Soul kind of Q, but it doesn't stun, but it's reactivated twice. And it's not like the star comes back to him, we can use it again. So it's kind of like in that sense, it explodes, and it damages opponents in the way, which is different than the other ones, I guess. So that's his Q, and that's why he needs the passive, which gains the Soul Seeker back. So W is Voice of the Grave. Something like that, Voice of the Grave. Let's do that. So, because basically they come from the ground. Anyways, so he forces his magic into the ground, summoning a cone of paranormal energy that deals damage. Into the ground, causing demons to come in a specified area, the cone, to eat the enemy, just because the demons are kind of like clawing and they're kind of trying to eat the enemy, or just hurt them a lot. This can be attached and used with his Q. So his Q and W are kind of a combo. So he can throw his Q, and then he can reactivate Q to activate explosive power, but instead, if he uses W, it activates the explosive power, but also adds the cone. So one, he doesn't have to repress Q, he doesn't have to do like a QW at the same time. All he has to do is press W and activates the explosion and activates the W, a large cone which will damage the opponent. I'm thinking about with this Q as well, it might be able to fear or slow them a little bit as well. So his E has gone through a lot of stage and processes. This is what his satchel comes in handy for. He holds these radioactive mines, in a sense, radioactive, because they kind of create a zombie out of the enemy. So what I first thought was a mine that, when steps on, turns the enemy into an ally for a short time and takes the damage he has taken as an ally. You could hurt him or use him. If you hurt the ally/enemy, it will go after whoever hurts him. So this was kind of like the first stage process. I thought it was too overpowered to have an enemy turn into an ally, because in order for that to happen, you have to have him for an ally for a long duration of time, and you can't really have that because like taking him out of the battlefield for 5 seconds just seems kind of a large amount of time for just a normal ability. Now you could add more cooldown, or what I did in this sense, I said whoever hurts them gets hurt. But also with the programming and such, it might be hard to be able to change a health bar from red to green, or red to blue, or whatever, in the game. So I thought that was difficult, so I was just like, okay, so let's change this. So champs who walk onto the mine are stunned. They stay put in the position and when they walk over the trap. They're just stunned there for a second. So he can have multiple charges and maybe a shorter cooldown because it's just a small stun. Renders the opponent useless for a duration, absorbs any damage given, and reflects in a sense. So that was so the stunning them and rooting in place was for champions. For minions, the second stage of the thing kind of happens. So if a minion lands on it, it actually just changes them into an ally minion. That's what I was thinking, to keep that, but not make it too overpowered. For the final instance of the E, I felt like champs could be stunned for a short duration, allowing for more. Champs would get stunned for a short duration, the cooldown for the mine would be very short, and then any minions or anything that step on it would just be turned. So therefore, kind of keeping that previous and first ability that I came up with. And it's not that difficult because it's just a minion rather than changing a champion from an ally back to an enemy, back to it's just too complicated. But for like canon minions and such like that, it's not only fair for you because you can't kill that minion anymore, you can't gain the gold. It's not fair for them either because now you have a second canon minion to do damage. So it's kind of like imbalanced, and it's a lose-lose situation in a sense. Well, a lose-win and a lose-win. So in order to make it a win-win situation, kind of, it just does for bigger minions and monsters, they just walk over it and the same thing happens, they're just stunned. So champions, minions, big minions and monsters are stunned for a short duration. Of course not dragons or heralds or anything like that. Let's just say you're top lane and you have killed the top laner and you see an opportunity here to get a lot of turret plays off or to be able to push your lane a little more. You have, let's just say, maybe there's 3 stacks because one of the, I'm thinking the stun's going to be fairly short, like maybe 0.5 to 1 second long, therefore allowing three charges, because honestly, if you can make 3 separate minions on your side, you can honestly make a new wave. I think that would be very useful, especially in the top lane, when you're hitting the tower, your minions are starting to dwindle, and then a new wave comes in. Instead of actually having to back up, waiting for the whole lane wave of minions come back, kill these minions, and then get back in the tower, all you can do is for the first 3 of those brood minions, you just make them zombies, kill the caster minions really quick because they're low health HP anyways, and therefore you're still on the tower. And that's what I kind of see for the E for that sense. And also it can help you get running away. So those are his Q, W, and E. His passive, his ultimate is he impels himself with Death Seeker. So he has to have Death Seeker to be able to enact his ultimate. And summoning the zombie within. So he takes the Death Seeker, he pulls it, and then he puts it into his backside. Maybe you can see some blade coming out. And he kind of, over a second channel, or 1 second channel, he kind of becomes this essence of paranormal and undead creature, which now roams the playing field. So for his passive, I still kept the 20% lifesteal because he's not going to be a zombie forever. And I mean, Nasus already has 10% lifesteal for his regular passive. Well, it's going to be 20% for like maybe 10 seconds. So there's 20% lifesteal. His Q is a bite enemy healing sum. If he bites the enemy, healing some, not a lot because he already has 20% lifesteal. I mean, biting is just going to do more damage and heal it anyways. But if he bites a minion, it turns them. So keeping his E, and also what his Q can do if he kills a minion, the cooldown is reduced. Therefore he can, so if he wants to, he can use the ultimate as a way of just pushing and pushing. Because one, he has the lifesteal, and two, he can just make minions on his side, and therefore it's never really a fact of waiting for the next minion wave. It's more of like waiting for their minion wave to come up to the tower. You can make and keep hitting the tower. Anyways, W is he gains 20% movement speed and attack speed. Yes, it's kind of more on the basis of Warwick's W, but it's not passive kind of sense, because Warwick's is a passive. His W kind of gains attack speed based on where the target is. This is just simple, just 20% movement speed and attack speed, because he wants to be able to get to his opponents. He only has a few seconds to get to his opponents. His E, he takes the Soul Seeker back out of his back for a second to slam it down against the ground, doing a lot of damage. Yep. Boom. And so he doesn't really have a slow or anything, so that's why W is necessary. So for his ultimate, for his zombie form, for his ultimate, he creates a horde of 4 other zombies that circle him. So he doesn't really control these zombies, besides just your own actions. If you attack something, they attack with it. These zombies actually just follow you and your orders based on who you attack. And your abilities actually affect what they do. Your Q can make their next phase attack bite when they're close to something, creating a way, if they kill the minion, they make a zombie, you have 5 minions now. What the heck? Crazy. W, self-explanatory, they gain more attack speed, they gain more movement speed as well. His E, on the other hand, it does nothing to the horde of zombies. And therefore, there you have that. And of course, those zombies, we want them to live longer, so they basically have the passive as well, but it's like maybe only 10%, or if it is 20%, yeah, but they also do less damage, they get less life. So, but anyways, that is Dr. Zin, the dead, the scientist of the dead.